This is Kevin Pruitt with another episode of Rising Tide Startups, and my guest today is Bogdan Grigoruk. Bogdan, all the way from Almaty, Kazakhstan. Thanks for joining us on Rising Tide.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
So tell our listeners a little bit, just give us a little background on who Bogdan Grigoruk is.
I'm
30 minutes.
Primarily, I'm a backend developer, PHP developer, and somehow I got involved into this beautiful WordPress environment and community, and I'm building some premium extensions for it right now, especially helping e-commerce and everyone who's selling online to get more sales.
So give us a little background. I mean, so you live in Kazakhstan, you grew up there, university background. How did you get into the whole tech space?
Yeah, that was a weird story actually. I live in Kazakhstan. I grew up here. I studied. I joined the National Research University of Technology in Moscow, but I dropped out because I was not satisfied with the program at all. I always dreamed of studying IT and especially programming, but there was too much physics and mathematics that I've never was a fan of. I really wanted to just do something practical, something that I can see working immediately. And I dropped out. I started working as a freelancer. I worked as a backend developer for a few years. And I was kind of locked into the circle of having a limited time as a freelancer and not being able to grow. And I was dreaming of building a product that I can actually sell and support. I was looking for a niche for a long time, and somehow I was working in the WordPress area, so I was helping a lot of website owners, business owners that sell something online. So I just noticed that there is something missing in the WordPress world, and this thing was funnels, upsells, all this stuff. Everybody wanted to have it in their stores, but there was no technical way to do this. So I decided to build my own solution. It was actually pretty hard to build, but eventually people just loved it and start coming in and trying to use it.
So, I mean, I use WordPress on some sites that I have, and it's amazing how often that it has to be updated. You know, how often the security has to be, checked on, because people are always trying to hack in through plugins, and they're trying to hack in. I mean, there's just so many entry points for, kind of malicious, intent on the internet. So is it a constant battle with your extensions or with your plugins to keep it secure, or does WordPress itself kind of protect you in that, or how does that work?
You're right. That's at some point of time, I had to just agree on that. That's a constant battle. You always have to update everything to keep it secure, but there is always a chance that something will break.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just a maintenance work that we everyone owning the WordPress site has to do.
Do you bear any responsibility or liability? Let's say that you do an extension or a WordPress plugin or whatever, and I use that, and all of a sudden, you've created an opening for somebody to hack into my site and it costs me a lot of money. Can you be held liable for that as the developer?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the developer's responsibility, to test and to make sure that the product is as secure as possible. You can like never be 100% sure, but you have to for your customers.
Right, right. So you and I are going to step onto an elevator right now. We're going to jump onto a lift, and we're going to go up a few floors. I want you to. I'm a potential client. I want you to describe who your ideal client is, and kind of give me your elevator pitch. Say, here is, in a very short period of time, here's the service I provide and what I can do for you.
Sure. Well, if you are a store owner having your e-commerce store and it's running on a WooCommerce plugin on a WordPress, and
you said WooCommerce?
WooCommerce, yeah.
Okay.
And you want to make sure that you are having upsells, you're having your sales funnel set up correctly, because you're probably losing a lot of money not giving your customers, your happy customers who have already paid you, an opportunity to pay you more. That's the biggest pain of many store owners, and some of them even don't know that they're losing something. It can cost up to like 40. That's from cases of our own clients, losing from 40 to 50% in some rare cases of the additional revenue.
Is this a subscription model?
Yep.
So if I have, is it a WordPress plugin, or is it what exactly, describe the product exactly?
Yeah, that's a plugin for WordPress for WooCommerce that gives you an opportunity to set up different upsell, downsell flows in your store.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's it.
So do you also kind of coach people on how to do a sales funnel well, you kind of do the things that are around the plugin as well? Is there any additional services you all provide, or is it strictly just the product that you're providing?
So like the ideal client that we're working with, it's either a business owner who knows about funnels already, or the agency owner or the marketer who as well knows about funnels, but he's doing this for his own clients. So yeah, we're aiming to help this group of people first, and the teaching people about funnels and what they're missing out, it's like a wider circle for us.
Right. Is there one feature that your plugin provides that is, what is the unique selling point feature of your plugin? How does it different than other similar plugins that are on WordPress that do this, that are e-commerce plugins?
Right now, the best feature that we have among all the other solutions is the detailed sales statistics that we have per offer, per you can filter it by date, by offer that you have. You can track down like each how many customers declined, accepted, or even dropped out of your funnel on one of the steps that you have.
And this is a dashboard that's built into the plugin that shows up on WordPress?
Yeah, that's a dashboard we have.
Well, that's amazing, because you can build the best funnel or the worst funnel in the world, but if you don't have the metrics to let you know how effective it is, it's virtually worthless.
Exactly.
I like the way that you have built that in, and it's virtually real time. I mean, very current statistics, or over a period of time. How are they measured?
It's measured by percentage and by revenue as well. So you can see how much revenue each offer in your funnel has generated, and how many of your clients who have seen it have dropped out. So you can optimize the certain offer, not the whole funnel. You don't have to guess it. Sorry.
Right. So it's not like it's all or nothing. I mean, you've segmented, every offer that has its own metrics.
Yeah.
So if you go back a few years, maybe before you started this latest, product or service or whatever, what is one piece of advice that you wish you would have known, then that now that probably would have made your life much, much easier as you were trying to build this product?
Yeah, I have one. That's probably the most expensive and valuable lessons for me to this exact moment, and that's talking about partnership, because I had a partner, and like we ended up pretty badly actually. And what I've learned from this is that you can't just pure-heartedly trust anyone without like checking him, how he does things, how you can rely on him, and like you can't just take in random people. That was my mistake.
What do you do differently now that you didn't do a few years ago? Like if you were entering into a partnership today, what would you do differently?
I will do differently a couple of things. First, I will set up a clear legal agreement that I will know to details, and that will describe all the aspects of our partnership. That's first. And the second one is I will take more time to know the person that I'm going to partner up with.
Yeah, that is such great advice. I mean, and that's, not only just partnership, but even hiring people and, contracting, outsourcing services and things like that, is just taking the time to know who you're working with will probably save you a lot of heartache and headaches.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like it maybe even save you some money over time as well, money that's lost. So if you're entering to a partnership and you have a legal agreement, and let's say that you're sitting in Kazakhstan and I'm sitting in Spain. Mm-hmm. So does this agreement cover, which one, I guess, takes precedence? I mean, is it Spanish law? Is it Kazakh law? Is it international law? Is it, which one do you think would because they may apply those, the terms of the contract differently in different countries. How would you work around that?
Right. So if initially I had an agreement that was only based on the American legal standards, and that was not correctly for me. The right thing to do is to make, like, if you are living in different countries with your partner, you have to create a bilingual agreement that will cover the aspects of your partnership in both laws in both countries.
Right. That's a good word. That it needs to be applicable in both locations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, as we are transitioning kind of to the later stages of our chat here, I'm really anxious to hear your, as we get into the Rising Tide micro course segment of our chat today, and we talked a little bit, pre-chat about what you're going to teach us on. I'm excited to learn, because I mean, every time I learn something every time a guest does a micro course. But I'm really looking forward to this one, because it really speaks the language of a lot of our listeners. So, Bogdan, you have the floor. Take it away. Give us the title and talk about what you want to teach us today.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have some little note here. So the things that I wanted to talk here, I'll call it 3 steps to improve your online sales funnel. And those these 3 steps are your checkout page first, then your upsells and downsells, your funnel, and third one is your thank you page. So talking about the checkout page, that's the entrance to your funnel. That's the first step that every customer takes. And one of the important things that it should follow the design of your website, and it always should have testimonials and trust points. Trust points are like some notes that talk about privacy, encryption, security, and testimonials are also crucial because there are like so many stores, online stores, e-commerce sites that are selling something, and like their checkout pages are just freaking out their customers because they're too complicated. They have no proof. They don't follow up with the customer, not reminding him what he's actually buying and why he's buying it. That's super important. That can increase the conversion significantly. And another important thing is the order bump. Have you heard of the order bump?
No.
So the order bump is the old marketing feature, actually, like from the previous century. It was used in printed sales letters a lot in the direct mail marketing. It's like a little box on the page, either in the letter or on your checkout page. It's like really bright. It stands out of the design that you have, and it asks you just to add something really valuable to your order with a click of the checkbox. If you're selling a main product, it can be an additional service or a product, a delivery that will be faster, or like adding another item to your cart, something like this, something that just increases the order value for a few percents, like 10, 20, 30%.
And just with something very easy to do, just literally just checking a box type thing.
Super easy commitment.
Yeah. Low friction. There you go.
Exactly. So the second part is that upsells and downsells are required. I cannot imagine like how much revenue each of our clients was missing before adding the sales funnel, the one-click upsells to his checkout process. Usually it's as easy as just offering another item that your customer has already purchased with a discount. Like if someone buys a t-shirt, just offer him another t-shirt with a discount. Or if someone buys a 1 month of your supplements bottle with supplements, just offer him a subscription for a year with a discount. Something like this can just increase your average order value and revenue significantly.
And the downsell, if they don't buy, you offer them maybe something that's a lesser value, lesser commitment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something that should feel like customer is stealing from you. Something like this.
I love that.
Literally.
You're stealing. You're killing me here. I'm going to do it, but you're killing me. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, from a statistical standpoint, we've seen at least from 10% increase in the annual revenue to up to 40, 45, 50% in some cases.
Wow.
You always have to test the upsell before like implementing it completely, but you will eventually find out the model that works for you and gives you great results. And the third step is the thank you page. I called it that thank you page should not be a dead end. So a lot of stores just have this plain order received thank you page that just has order details and that's it. But like there is an opportunity to use because your customer is happy. His brains are full of dopamine and he just literally can do something uh, like do something more. And for example, you can come up with an idea to involve the customer further in the commitment, like asking him to join a community in Facebook or subscribe to your Instagram or YouTube channel. You can just offer him a coupon for the next order or a coupon to refer his friends to your store.
Right.
Something that will motivate him and will like keep this interaction live.
So have you used these? I mean, are these part of the, like if I get the WordPress plugin, the WooCommerce plugin that you've developed, do you tell me these three things as well? Is this part of the process as I'm downloading this, or is that a completely separate thing? Is this what you're teaching on? Is that how do people find out about this other than just listening to this great podcast interview we just did?
Yeah, so these are three main steps to improve your sales funnel, and each of these steps corresponds to one product that we have. We have three products. Each of them improves one of the steps. It's a handsome checkout plugin for WooCommerce that we have. Then we have a one-click upsells and downsells plugin, and we have the custom thank you pages plugin. You can get them as a bundle, or you can just get one of them to try out. We have a free trial.
We want to make sure that we include those links in the show notes page of the podcast, so people can do. It's at your website, right? These are available at your website, but they're also available through, or can you search them through WordPress? Like
these are premium plugins. They are sold exclusively on our site. You can always find them on our site.
Okay. Speaking of your website, tell me where people can find you at your website.
Well, we have all the information about our products. We have a little blog talking about e-commerce and all this stuff that I've just talked about in some details. How to improve your thank you page, how to make better upsells and downsells, all this stuff. And
the URL for your website is?
It's bogdanfix.com, BOGDANFIX.com.
Bogdanfix.com. So those will also be in the show notes. Is that the best way to get in touch with you is through your website?
Yeah, we have a contact form on our website. I'm always checking each email personally before moving into the support team.
Well, Bogdan, is there anything that we haven't covered today that you think would be really interesting for our listeners to hear, or anything you wanted to add that I had not asked you about right now, and as we're wrapping up today?
Well, I think the more you do, the more you learn. That experience is always a great thing to have, and it's endless.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's amazing. I mean, this is probably Bogdan's third or fourth language that he's doing this interview in. So yeah, it's been making the rest of us feel a little inadequate today. But man, I've really enjoyed our chat today, and I just appreciate you taking the time. It's probably a little bit late in Kazakhstan right now, but it's early in the United States on the eastern seaboard. But thanks for just apologize for the background noise as I'm sitting outside a coffee shop in Asheville, North Carolina. But it's beautiful scenery, but it's a little bit noisy today. But really enjoyed the chat, and I just really appreciate you taking the time to speak specifically about WordPress plugins, and especially related to e-commerce and how to improve your sales results through e-commerce, but just playing your part in helping all boats rise in a rising tide. Bogdan, thanks again.
Thank you, Kevin. It was a pleasure